theme?
I don't know. What do you want to do?
I was going to say we're going to pull off the whole ServiceHerd for just an episode and talk about your past experiences and crazy stories.
I think that's a bad idea right now. I think we need to do one that talks about the pivot, talks about the rewards, and talks about everything that can drive business. And I think we should take our stories and everything else we got going on social media, and we need to push people to HerdTalk and tell them, hey, learn about the fucking changes that are taking place. It's absolutely phenomenal.
All right.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, we can talk about our life sometime, but I think right now we got two major things going on that we can feed, unless we want to wait until stick 'em. If we want to wait until until we have that actual update done, or do we want to
talk right now? Well, no one's gonna see it for the most part until in a week or so, anyway. So
check, yo, check yourself,
check
Drew.
yourself, or you wreck yourself.
All right, let's see if we can get this thing to work the first try. Here's what I always do wrong.
We're the worst.
There it is.
Tech people in the tech company.
Yo, check yourself, Drew.
Check yourself, or you wreck yourself.
All right,
Ashley.
We're up and running here, Drew Dog. So, happy
Friday?
Well, who knows when they're listening to this, but we'll say happy Friday.
Yeah,
it's Friday for us.
It's Friday. The date says Friday.
Welcome to Have You Heard? The podcast. Episode, we think 7.
Should we go back on YouTube and count them
Hey,
up?
would you like to meet Daisy? What's up, Daisy? All right, out the office.
All right, dog.
Out the podcast studio.
Dog, get some hygiene.
Nah, that's your breath. Might be mine. I'm just getting off a soup cleanse. Actually, I'm still on it right now, so I might smell like onions and ginger.
Soup cleanse.
And a little bit of cabbage.
You've literally eaten soup or drank soup. What is it? Eating
I have taken no solids in for a week. Mental.
This is disgusting.
It's disgusting for you. Dude, you're
terrible. You're already a vegan.
You're Indian. You're supposed to love veggies all the time.
That's not. That's water and
or
grass.
Right.
It's not food.
It's strong like bull.
Wait, you're already vegan. You don't.
I'm not really vegan.
You don't partake in alcohol. I mean, there's nothing in this house that has anything.
Hey.
Anything that's processed, from what I can tell.
Okay, but at the end of the day,
you still felt the need to do a cabbage and soup cleanse.
More for my mind, and maybe some entrepreneurs out there in the world of like challenging yourself. If this ServiceHerd isn't enough, I thought I would mentally challenge myself to see if I could eat,
you're a glutton.
Water with a little bit of cabbage in it for a week.
You're a glutton for punishment.
And so today is the 5th day, and I feel absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, I think you're just delirious right now, and your body's running off some like last minute.
Stick 'em. Come on, Drew. All right, so welcome everybody. As you know, this podcast is very laid back, very unprofessional, very unfiltered,
very
disorganized, but yet, aren't you? Because we are. We want to quickly say, hey, shouts and prayers go out to the whole Kobe thing, his family, all the other people that were in that helicopter. What a devastating loss to the world. Even more so now that you learn more about everything that he was involved in and what he was doing and for kids. And it just gives me goosebumps on my spine to realize that somebody's life can end so quickly.
He was, of course, that's the most important part, but he was also looking at some tech companies of his own.
Yeah. I mean, he was an entrepreneur, definitely at heart. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was, if anybody transitioned from basketball to being a businessman, a true business, I mean, it was him, and I didn't really realize that till recently, but it's just, the other thing you got to look at is you never know. You never know what's going to happen, so, you got to put a smile on and live,
like it's your last,
fake it like you're happy, because sooner or later, the longer you fake it, you'll be happy. And there's no reason to not be happy in life right now. There is always a positive somewhere because, man, as we just found out, and as we found out through life, though, it can absolutely change in an instant.
Sure. Totally.
And so that's one thing I want to say. So heart thoughts and prayers and our heart kind of for that.
Well, let's talk about what's going on in ServiceHerd.
What do you got in your hand there, Drew?
This is a pitch deck that we were looking at yesterday.
Pitch deck!
So we're at the pitch deck level, finally.
We've
been there forever. We just haven't done it.
So we're at the pitch deck level. Which...
So we're looking at these PowerPoint slides, trying to figure out, which one works for us, which one doesn't, and
So what is that? So a pitch deck. Let's just talk really. So a pitch deck is what I would consider a way for us to go into a meeting of investors or anybody really, and in essence keep us organized and keep our business to a point. Specifically, be able to go in there, hit your high points, hit all the certain points, not get off track, and be able to nail it. And I would say probably be able to nail it, depending on your business, in 10 to 15 minutes.
Well, I mean,
it all depends on time.
The pitch deck, nobody wants to look at PowerPoint slides anymore. No one gives a shit about that stuff, right?
Right.
The point of the pitch deck is to help us tell the story.
Right? In essence, a pitch deck is PowerPoint slides done crafty, put together.
But not with all of the bullet points and all that stuff.
Right.
We're talking about
it's changed.
This is a visual to help you tell your story.
Right.
Simple as that, right? It's a visual aid. That's all it is. It tells our story visually, per se. So we have to figure out a way to tell our story onto, hopefully not these many slides. Because this is
I looked at one yesterday. It was 44 slides, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I was thinking like 4 slides.
You lost me after 3.
Yeah.
So
at the end of the day, what we're looking at is putting together a modern slideshow that deals with our business.
Putting our story together for everybody.
That's it. And it's going to include our story. It's going to include the problem that we're solving.
Yep.
How are we solving the problem? How are we working on growth? How much money do we need? Have we spent? Are we going to need? Do we plan on making? All that good stuff. Can you turn your dinger off, dog? Ding!
One of those days.
Oh, Drew. All right, so all this being said, you don't really have to turn it off. I doubt it really bother people. That being said, also,
speaking of our story,
we've got a lot of news going on, and feedback is key. Feedback is key, and we have talked to a lot of service providers, and we have found a lot of hiccups in the system that they're dealing with now, and that there is a place for ServiceHerd. But we still were seeking out that true differentiator. What absolutely sets us apart from everybody else? And I think we got it. And it causes a slight pivot in our business model. But man, I'll tell you what, after I started introducing this to everybody else, and even you, we poked and probed and tried to figure out something wrong. So right now, we were currently a modern-day directory, a modern-day Yellow Pages connecting customers and providers seamlessly. Hey, go on there, find what you need, click. Awesome.
Yeah.
Still love that. I still think it's better than anything out there.
Yeah.
But now, let's slow down and talk about the pivot. So think about this, all 2 of you viewers out there.
Hi, Mom.
Hey, Mom. So let's say when Sally... Okay, so first off, right now, if Sally, tree falls in her yard, Sally goes on ServiceHerd, she looks at a lot of tree people, and she goes through and she figures out from those who she wants. Yeah. The new model, the new pivot point is even more catered and more of a good for everybody, and that is this. Sally has a tree in her yard. Home advisor. Edit.
You don't say such words.
Edit.
Don't utter such words.
So they would go on to ServiceHerd. They would go to the home section. They would go to trees. And when they click on trees, instead of getting a listing of all the tree people in their area, they're going to get a simple form that says when, where, what do you need? Maybe you want a couple pictures of that tree. And what's your estimated budget? And they're going to submit it. That then is going to be released to the tree service providers on ServiceHerd within a 15-20 mile radius of her. Okay. At that point, those service providers will get a ping. They'll look. They'll see that Sally has a tree. They'll see what she needs, and if they're interested and available, they'll click. The first 5 that acknowledge Sally and are interested are going to show up on Sally's screen. So what does that do, Drew? That makes it super easy for Sally because now she knows exactly who's available to contact and communicate with her immediately. She's only choosing from 5 that are ready to go. So she chooses Mike's trees. She clicks on him after she sees his profile. She likes him. She clicks on him. She goes right into a chat with Mike. Okay. Now, if it goes really well with Mike, well, then Mike can schedule her. Mike can actually get paid through the app if they want to use that feature. He can review, or she can review him, and the process is done. Now, if they start their chat and she's not really happy with Mike or it doesn't work, well, she can just go back to her other results. She's got 4 more providers that are available immediately to at least discuss her situation. It's just a win-win. It's like spoon feeding the available providers to the customer when they need them. So we're going to call this on-demand service providers.
So what if, let me ask a question. So what if I'm a service provider and I don't want this 20 miles around me? I want more than that. What if I live in the middle of the Everglades and 20 miles around me or just something but alligators?
That's a great question.
Dead bodies.
We don't want dead bodies. So I had a gentleman in New Smyrna that wants to do work in Orlando, but he also wants to do work in New Smyrna. Mm-hmm. Solution to that is that we have so what we're calling this is ServiceHerd Roundup.
Yep.
You're rounding up the professionals, spoon feeding them to the customers, the ones that are available. So Roundup has a power boost. And our providers are going to pay $15 to $25 a month to be on the platform.
Nintendo Power Boost.
And if they want a Power Boost for an extra $10, they can decide how far their business is going to be found.
Okay.
So now, if somebody in Orlando needs or somebody in Orlando needs tree service, they go on Roundup and they hit it, or they, whatever they may need. That person that's out of that 20-mile radius but is interested in still doing tree service.
Yeah.
Is going to get the Roundup also. Okay. So it opens up that to all providers. And so it's a matter of, hey, who's available immediately to chat, and that's what the customers want.
So what do you feel could be the drawbacks?
Well, I would say when we're super, super busy, it becomes a game because the providers are going to have to be pretty quick on the draw if we have a lot of providers in that certain category.
So survival of the fittest.
Survival of the fittest. Which is good for our customers, because what does that mean? That means they're going to get people that are attentive, people that are ready, people that are, no more leaving messages, no more leaving, going into a website and doing a comment or a question and trying to get some feedback. No more of that. It's like instantly, what do you need when you need it? And I'm talking, you got a dirty dog? You got a dirty car? I mean, whatever it may be, it works in every scenario. I mean,
pipe burst, middle of the night.
Pipe burst, car accident. You need an attorney. Oh my gosh, you can go on there, boom, pop up, see who's available, see who's ready. Any industry is going to be, pretty close to any industry is going to be spoon-fed clients that are looking for them. I think it's a win-win.
So again, we're trying to make it very clear that we're still not a lead generation service. We are still a direct connect. We pivoted, but the method of how we do it.
Lead generation services are a thing of the past.
They spoke like a true salesman.
They really are. I mean, they are. It's a new decade.
Yeah.
That decade of, hey, let me ask a bunch of questions and have somebody give me a bunch of providers that I don't know. That's old.
Yeah.
How about this side? How about these providers out there right now that are getting leads from the other systems? People are looking for a price. So they're paying $17.50, $25, $40 for a lead. Mm-hmm. And this person is just looking for a price.
Yep.
How many times does that happen before they get a job? I can tell you right now, 6 to 7 times what I've been told.
Yeah, totally.
How about the tire kickers out there? And yes, there are some good leads. Some people, it's a double-edged sword. They've got to have that to bring in business, but they're spending 30% of their revenue on that advertising. We're not asking people to drop everything they're doing. We're asking people to take ServiceHerd, add it to their toolbox, and let us work. Let us prove that we are the right way to connect to customers, and over time, let us prove that everything else can kind of just
go away,
go to the back burner.
Mm-hmm.
No, because $15, $25 a month with a power boost, you ain't gonna find that anywhere else.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. I mean, it's an exciting change. Like I said, it's like if anything, I'm sure once we see it in action, it's gonna be more exciting. And it's definitely a differentiator. For the most part, I think there's no one else doing that.
It is. Yeah. It's the new way. I think that people are looking for that instant feeling.
The only concern I bring up, like I brought up before, was that what if you have the providers who aren't quick to the draw and just keep losing out on deals because they're not fast enough?
They're gonna pivot, and they're gonna learn how to be a little quicker.
Yeah.
Because the main concept is not necessarily are you ready to do the job this second, but hey, are you ready to communicate with somebody that needs your help, and then you can discuss it with them.
Yeah.
And then from that point on, it's all up to that provider to win the customer over. So again, we're not a lead generation. We're a connection.
So let me ask you this. So all right. So here's something we hadn't thought about. Maybe you hadn't thought about it yet. So let's say, for example, I'm sitting there and my dishwasher just broke down. Okay, and I need a repairman to come fix it. And I go out there and I put out my little bat signal to all the handymen in the area.
Now, my house dishwasher's busted. Here's a picture of it. Here's a picture of the model number. I'm willing to spend $75. Submit.
Okay. So let me ask you this now. What happens if I start submitting and that provider responds back to me? We're now engaged in the conversation, in a chat to hopefully transact. And at that point decide maybe this is the wrong guy. Do I have to go back and redo the whole thing again?
No. At that point, you would cancel that transaction, go back to your results. You'd have 4 people left, and you could look at those 4.
So they would still be there.
Yep.
So I wouldn't lose the 4 results.
We're working on that, but yes. Okay. The goal is that it'll still be there.
Got it. Okay. Good. I mean, that makes sense because then I can go to the next person and just
yep.
from there.
Yep.
Or I can refresh it and restart it again.
So again, yes. If you go on there and Sally's looking for tree guys, and the first guy she chooses is Mike, and she chats a little bit with him, and she realizes that Mike's not the guy, she goes back to her results, looks at the other 4, picks out another one. And the great thing is these are guys that have just now recently identified that they're available and they're interested, and they understand what her budget is, and so they're going to be somewhere within that, we would think. Otherwise, they wouldn't be. So it helps these providers that are also dealing with lowball bids all the time. 6 leads go out to these providers when they're sitting there and they get them, but guess what? Everybody's lowballing each other, and
I mean, it's price wars.
It's just annoying.
Yeah,
and so these providers deserve not to continually be lowballed. So this is a way for them to cut it out immediately.
So they have the opportunity to say no and not even deal with it.
So it's a big system. I mean, it's a big pivot when it comes to the actual thought process of what this does now. I mean, this literally is spoon feeding, is service providers on demand for customers when they need them. Correct. And it's allowing them to choose.
And we're also eliminating a lot of wasted time and a lot of wasted energy from both sides.
Search engine nowadays, you got a lot of the same people up top because they know how to do SEO. So now they're all the same businesses are up top, and and then you still got to filter through some crap. You still got to figure out, make some calls, see if you can get. I mean, I'm trying to get some upholstery done in my house, and I am the creator of ServiceHerd, and I still can't get upholstery done in my house because people aren't calling me back right now. I want to get them on the platform. Isn't that crazy? But that's why you need to know when somebody's available and when they're interested. So I think it's a big pivot. I'm excited about this. I'm hoping that we can push a lot of people to this HerdTalk podcast right here and learn exactly about what we're all about now.
Yeah.
I think it's cleaner, and I think it's easier to describe us this way. So what's up? What else is up, Drew?
No, nothing much. Just kicking off the new year and staying busy, trying to get this show off the road. We've had some interesting phone calls regarding ServiceHerd and possible capital raising.
Money.
I had a great call yesterday with a gentleman out in San Diego who's a funding kind of guy, and he's had experience in this space before, and he was a straight shooter, and told me what
didn't he like?
It's not that he didn't. I mean, it's not that he didn't like the app per se. He just didn't know enough about it. Enough, and a lot of these guys don't. A lot of these money guys, you understand something in the money game. You can't also assume that these people have done research and know everything. They're too busy. They have 10 different deals to look at. They look at the quick points of what's catchy, what's not, what's unique, what haven't they seen, and they'll talk about those, right? So, and he was quite honest. Saying, look, what you're bringing to the table is something that we've seen been tried before. Maybe not to our extent where we're doing it, but he said that he's been through the ringer with a lot of different of these, provider and customer sites. So with him being said, he said, it's a challenge, to put it mildly. It's going to be a challenge, but what he did say, I mean, there were other words he used because he's blunt and that's the way he is. But what he did say was that, and this is the silver lining, was he was kind of interested in knowing that we've already got 2,200 providers that have already joined the site, and I told him how our model works, and I told him that, look, we're free right now.
Did you explain Roundup, or was it just
I did explain Roundup, and he had mentioned that he felt like there was somewhere I said kind of do the same thing right now, which is kind of what I'm looking at, which I don't believe they do. with that being said,
who? Never mind. We won't say names.
No. With that being said, you don't need to do that. I mean, like I said, I appreciate anyone's advice, whether it's good or bad.
For sure. No, I meant names of like who else was doing what we're doing.
Correct. So, so the competitors. He said so what he said was, I think someone's doing it now. So, well, no, it's up to me to do the research and make sure that that's the case. But to me, this is a brand new concept altogether, the whole roundup thing, right? That's why we're going in that direction. However, the silver lining was, again, he was very pleased to know that we've been able to put in 2,200 providers in just a couple short months of this marketing campaign we launched.
2.5 months of hardcore marketing. So we're roughly putting about 900 people, providers. Not these are providers that will be paying and understand our pay system.
Yep.
This brings us into something else that I want to really talk about on the podcast, and that is about our growth. And yes, we have 2,200 people. We have a concept and a feature called Herd Perks, and it's a very, very easy way to share ServiceHerd, and we have major benefits to doing that. That can really substantially create some residual income in your life for helping us grow, because it's a rewards program. We can spend money on Facebook and Instagram and Google and print ads and all and the text messages that we're doing right now. But at the end of the day, if all those 2,200 people shared at one time, we would double. And so we've got some really cool sharing stuff we want people to dig in. It's actually done in a really clean way.
I told John the last time on the phone, and I tell everybody else when I talk on the phone with them and I call providers that, look, to download the app is free. To join, it's free. Just download the app, look at it. If you don't like it, take it off your phone. I think once they look at it and they see it, and like, oh wow, this is pretty cool, something different. And that's all it is. So if you're listening to this podcast or blog, or what you want to call this, just
download the app.
Download the app. Just download the app. Go on there and start a profile for yourself and look at it.
Check for updates. We're doing updates almost daily right now because we're pivoting and changing so much. So we've got some cool features done. Download the app. Share it. Have fun with it. Give us feedback. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram.
Check out our YouTube channel.
Follow us on
YouTube.
TikTok. Follow us right here on YouTube.
Right here.
But most importantly,
check out our channel.
Join us in the herd. So I think this is a good time to say so long.
And see you in the herd.
See you in the herd.
See you in the herd.
Peace out. All right, Drew Dog, 21 minutes.
Look at that, perfect. Oh, that's what you need to keep them right now. Keep them that until we've got this thing down and we've got some real content we can talk about and start expanding on it. It's perfect. 15, 20 minutes. More updates. So. Cool.
Howdy.
So